Hey guys, got another good video for you here today. This is actually going to be one of two videos I'm going to be doing on this same subject, and I hope to make them both today and get them uploaded today, so we'll see how that works out. But what I'm going to do today in these videos is I'm going to show you my Vietnam military collection. I believe it was November, December, I did like my Korean War, my World War I, my Navy, stuff like that. And I didn't plan on doing my Vietnam or World War II because I have just so much stuff, especially World War II stuff. But I got to thinking, these Vietnam veterans, they deserve for me to display, the stuff they used as well and make a video on, just like I did with some of the other stuff. A lot of you guys know, the Vietnam War was, it was somewhat controversial and everything, which I guess all wars are and everything. The U.S. didn't really get involved until the early 1960s. And it wasn't until around 1965 that U.S. combat units were actually being deployed and really getting involved. And U.S. involvement really peaked around 1968 with the Tet Offensive. The U.S.'s direct involvement ended somewhere around 1973 with the war, and unfortunately, over 58,000 U.S. service members lost their lives. And from what I've learned here, there's still about 1,600 Vietnam veterans that are still missing in action. When these guys came back, the public of the United States was so upset with the government involvement over there and everything. A lot of the public took their frustrations out on the returning soldiers and mistreated them and attacked them and everything else. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine, serving this country, which a lot of the men were drafted. There were some that enlisted themselves, but, risking their lives over there fighting for this country only to come back to this country and be mistreated by the regular people, the civilians and everything. I just couldn't imagine what those returning veterans went through. And I've got so much, admiration and respect for these guys and everything. A lot of y'all know a lot of the Vietnam veterans became homeless. And there just wasn't a lot of support and everything out there for these returning veterans. And I looked, and there was somewhere around 3 million that actually served over in Vietnam. Numbers can kind of, fluctuate. There's different, sources of numbers and estimations and stuff. But and I saw the average age of a U.S. soldier that was killed in Vietnam was 23 years old. A lot of these wars, we think are fought by, older men, I guess, 30s and 40s, but they're not. They're just young guys in their late teens, early 20s, and it's not older guys, but these young guys, they become men. They go over there, they fight these wars, and they become men. They return home as men. They're changed and everything in many different ways. Like I said, it just breaks my heart in a way to think about how the Vietnam veterans were mistreated and how, like I said, a lot of them didn't have a lot of good benefits back then, and a lot of them were homeless and everything. I just support all veterans, thank a veteran, shake their hand, buy them a meal, donate to Wounded Warriors, donate to all these different organizations that support these veterans of all these wars. We've got a lot to be thankful for, and I know I am. Me and my family, we're definitely thankful for all that the veterans of every war have done for us in this great country. I just wanted to put that out there. Please support all veterans for sure. But I'm going to get this video going here. This first item here, these are my jungle combat boots. Their third pattern, which I actually found out the date on, is 1987, which is not Vietnam era, but these are the type of boots they wore, and they continue to produce these for years and years. They are very, very well liked and everything. I got those for $10 at a yard sale, which was a good deal. Moving on here, I got this Vietnam era compass. It's got the string and everything. I'm not a big compass person, and I don't really collect this type of things normally, but it was given to me. As you see here, it was dated the 30th of June, 1971. And overall, it's in really good condition. Like I said, a man gave this to me, so you can't pass that up. Still a neat piece to have and display there. Moving on here, I've got this. It's a M149 81mm mortar assembly. It's got basically the fins and part of the body. It doesn't actually have the mortar head itself on there. It's missing a few other things, but this is a really neat display piece. This thing is dated February 7th, 1968. Which is really cool. I always love it when stuff's dated, and I love stuff like this. You just never see it, and I mean, rarely when you do, or when I do, it's so expensive. You know, there's no way I would want to buy it or could buy it anyways. But I got this at a flea market for $5, and I've had this thing for probably 4 or 5 years. I just love this thing. It's awesome. I love the way it looks and everything. I'm hoping to add more stuff like that to my collection. You know, maybe I'll get some deals. Moving on here, I got this fired 21, well, I mean not fired, but drilled out 21 millimeter, I'm sorry, 20 millimeter mortar. I'm sorry, 20 millimeter round. I'll get it right in a second. This one's dated of August 1965, and I want to say I got this for like $5. Most of these 20 millimeter rounds I get for anywhere from $1 to $10 or so. But like I said, I always like it when it's dated. This one's really neat. I've got 3 more. These are dummies right here. These are not, you know, live ones. These are really cool. There's a little bit of difference between them. You can't really tell unless you actually look at them, and there's different numbers and models and stuff. But like I said, these I probably got anywhere from $1 to $10 a piece. I know most of what I pay for my items, but there's a few items here and there I don't remember. But I always like adding these things. They're great display pieces. I've got a lot of 50 caliber and 20 millimeter stuff in my case. I've got this right here, Vietnam service medal with the ribbon. It's basically in great condition. It was still wrapped up in the plastic. I went ahead and took it out several years ago. I've had this probably 4 or 5 years. Got it on eBay. I think it was like $8 or $10 free shipping. Like I said, all the veterans of Vietnam would have been given this medal here. That's kind of cool. I got this ribbon bar set up here that, you know, would be worn on your jacket. I don't know what all these ribbons stand for, but you see this one here in the middle is Vietnam veteran. Then you got the Army Good Conduct. You got National Defense and some of these other ones. But I thought that was really cool. I got this for free. My dad got it for me. I think he paid like $2 for it, and he just gave it to me, so that's always cool. This thing right here is really neat. Some of you guys probably been eyeballing this in the video so far. This is basically an M16, which is not a real gun. I know they use things like this in movies as movie props, but this one I was told is a training rifle. I got this for $20 at a military auction. I thought that was a good deal. It's made out of, I don't know if it's Bakelite or some kind of a plastic material, or cast anyways, but this thing is really cool. You know, it usually just stands up in the corner of my room, and I let my kids play with it and everything, which obviously I wouldn't let them play with real guns, you know, but they know about gun safety and everything, and we play war and battle sometimes, and we use this. So that's really neat. Like I said, it's a M16 cast or molding. $20, not bad on that. Moving on here, a little bit of Canteen stuff. I got a cover here dated 1974. I can't remember what I paid for that, probably $3, $5. I got this. It's actually a World War II canteen in here and here. I'm still working on pairing up, you know, World War II covers with World War II canteens and getting all the eras period correct, even though a lot of the World War II stuff I know was used in Vietnam. But this right here has got a cover that's dated 1969. See, it's got the Vietnam clips right there for the belt. It's got the cup and everything in there. I gave $7 for that at a flea market. This one right here has got the pistol belt with it, which is really cool. No cup with this one. The cover on this one is actually dated looks like 1958, I believe. So that's really cool right there. That one I got for $15, I think it was. Not bad. Got this. This is a plastic canteen right here. Black plastic's dated 1970. It's got the cover, no cup. A man I work with got this at a yard sale for $2, and he knew I would want it, so he got it for me. So that was nice of him to do. And then I got this whole setup right here, which is really cool. Another canteen and cover here. This one's dated 1974. Another World War II canteen. Like I said, I'm going to try to make these things period correct, I guess, the best I can. It's also got this pack here, this field pack right here, which is really cool. The field pack, it's not dated or anything, but it's still a neat thing here to have. And like I said, the belt, I got this whole setup for $15. It's marked US on there. Like I said, no cup with the Canteen, but still a good deal for 15 bucks. Got that at an antique store. Got this other cover here, Vietnam era. It could be 80s or even early 90s. They use this type. And this little setup right here, which could be 80s, early 90s, I'm not sure. But my dad got these for me for a few bucks. He just gave it to me, so that's always cool. Moving on here, I'm getting into my jackets and everything. This first one right here is an A2 Navy deck jacket. This thing is really cool. It's got the one left breast pocket here with the snap button. It's got the two slit pockets here. It's got the zipper on the inside with the World War II style buttons right there. This isn't dated, but I would say it would date, I believe, to probably more than likely, I'd say the early 1970s if I had to guess. This particular model and design, from what I've somewhat researched and looked, I would think it'd be 70s. I don't think it'd be any earlier than the early 70s. I could be wrong, but I got this for $24 on eBay, which I don't think was a bad deal. Moving on here, let me lay this out. I got this model 1965 field jacket. I got this for $5 at a flea market. It's got some stains and stuff on it, but overall you can't pass $5 up, you know. It's got the place here above the neck, around the collar, you know, to add the hood. It's a zipper. It's got the zipper on the inside. It's got snap buttons and everything now. Overall, you know, not bad for $5. I mean, you get what you pay for, so that's definitely a used field jacket right there. I love, when I get jackets and stuff, I love going through the pockets because you never know what you're going to find. You know, I found a lot of stuff in random places and pockets and stuff. This thing right here is so cool. This is my flak jacket. It's really, really heavy, you know, to protect you from some different things coming your way from the enemy. You know, different rounds and shrapnel and stuff. This right here is a model 1969, but it's dated 1968 up here. But it's like I said, it's a model 1969 fragmentation vest. I got this from $20 from a friend. He picked it up and I paid him back. It's a small. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too small for me. I need more like a medium, but it's really heavy. This thing probably weighs 8 or 10 pounds. But I was told it wouldn't be much good. You know, I was told and I read it wouldn't be much good up against like an AK-47 up close. This would be more for, I guess, shrapnel from somewhat being distant away from you, or maybe distant bullets, but not so much up close right in your face, unfortunately. But that's a really cool find right there. I love that thing. And lastly, I got these, let's see, these utilities here. It's a shirt and a pair of pants and another shirt. I got these at a yard sale. I got all this right here for $4. These right here would date, I believe, to, it could be the late 50s or 1960s. I tried, there's different models and patterns and designs. I'm not so much good with, you know, Vietnam era stuff as I am World War II. But not bad, you know, for $4. It could be from the 1950s going by these buttons here. If any of you guys know, let me know. I'm thinking 60s, but I'm always up for being educated myself. Like I said, I always claimed I'm no expert at all. I just enjoy showing and telling about these items and everything, sharing them with you. But anyways, like I said, this is just the first of 2 videos. My next video I'm doing is going to be on helmets and liners and a few other random headgear type items. I just didn't want to make this to be an hour-long video, so I'm going to go ahead and start closing it here. But definitely, if you're watching this now, definitely watch part 2, and you'll get the rest of my military collection. I'm excited about showing it with you. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later.